Welcome to the Liquid Mindset. Today we'll be talking about why smart leaders get stuck. The 18-month blind spot. Let us talk about a pattern I see all the time. Smart leaders get stuck. They stay committed to a model that once worked even after the world around them has changed. By the time they fully see the shift, they are already behind. That is exactly what I called the SMART syndrome. It is when capable people in very serious organizations keep applying yesterday's logic after reality has already moved. Take as an example Starbucks. On April 30, 2024, the company cut its annual sales forecast after a surprise fall in quarterly sales and its first same-store sales decline in nearly 3 years. Global comparable sales fell around 4%. US comparable sales fell 3%. Even China fell 11%. One day after, Reuters reported the shares had dropped around 15% to their lowest level in nearly 2 years. Through the lenses of the liquid mindset, the issue was not a lack of data. Not at all. Starbucks had a strong system. They have a very strong customer insight and a very powerful loyalty engine. The issue was that the company had become very good at optimizing transactions, optimizing speed, and app mechanics, while part of the customer experience had already shifted somewhere else. That was the issue. Customers were still buying coffee, that's a fact, but they were also buying feeling, atmosphere, ease, the vibes, the value. The machine kept improving. The experience was thinning. Then the company had to respond. So on October 30, 2024, Starbucks said it would overhaul US cafes, add more comfortable seating, and simplify the menu. And by the way, they wanted to reduce the waiting time. That was the signal. The leadership response had moved from optimizing the system to restoring the experience. The liquid mindset would say the company had stayed attached to one form of success too long and then had to adapt under visible pressure instead of doing this in a proactive fashion with more room to improve. Now look at Microsoft. On April 2nd, 2024, the US Cyber Safety Review Board said that China-linked email hack of US officials was preventable and criticized Microsoft for a cascade of avoidable security failures. On June 30, 2024, lawmakers publicly questioned Microsoft over those lapses. That was a big issue. The issue was not intelligence. The issue was cultural priority. When institutions get used to winning in a certain way, they often keep defending the old success logic even when the risk underneath it is changing. Smart people, serious infrastructure, expensive delay. Then take the case of Peloton. On May 2nd, 2024, Peloton said its CEO was stepping down and that it would cut 15% of its workforce as a post-pandemic demand remained very weak. The company had built enormous momentum during the pandemic. Remember that? But once consumer behavior changed, the old hardware-centered formula lost force. However, Peloton kept trying to recover growth from a story that belonged to a different moment, to the past. In liquid mindset terms, success had left a residue. What once made the company strong became the very same thing that it was slowest to question. So what is the real pattern here? You trust the dashboard more than the weak signal. You defend the plan after conditions have changed. You confuse rigor with relevance. That is the SMART syndrome. Competent people, again, very serious institutions, but still stuck because they are defending an old model too well. It's an ego thing as well. This is where my work begins. I can help you see how to identify where truth is there, how to question assumptions when even they expired, how to understand what the organization's dynamics are going through, and how you can see how you are protecting things and move over that. The discipline is simple. Sense earlier, adapt faster, and release sooner. So here is the question I would like to leave with you. What are you still defending because once worked, but the clock is already ticking? Thank you for listening.